So this is on that whole cursed body snatchers storyline that almost became of Eclipse. If you don't know what we're talking about, Stephenie Meyer originally had a 3-book deal for Twilight, and if she wasn't able to get the 4th book, so she couldn't carry on with the Renee Asbury storyline and the pregnancy because that's what she really wanted, she was apparently going to end Eclipse by Edward taking Jacob's body and Bella being with Edward in Jacob's body. I'm not kidding you. Now, if that sounds like some extremely cursed, disturbed Jordan Peele's Get Out type of thing, you're correct, it really does. But the other thing about it, besides it just being so disturbed, really doesn't make a ton of sense for 2 reasons, I think. So you're saying, your question is because Edward does not have a soul/spirit, how will he be able to take over Jacob's body? So the thing about this, even though we will never actually know, thank God, how that story was going to go, because it fortunately did not come to fruition, I have an idea about how this would have gone. So Dusty the Clown believes he doesn't have a soul, you know, he's Hades dooming Persephone and all that, and then proceeds to do it anyway, but whatever. Stephenie for sure thinks that Edward has a soul, because she has talked about, and specifically I'm thinking of her interview with the Remember podcast, but she's talked about this a few times, where she's saying that like Breaking Dawn is such a powerful and like happy moment for Edward, because when Bella becomes a vampire and he sees that she has a soul, he knows that he does too, which I think just like really says it all. Like, I disagree about Vampire Bella. I think Vampire Bella is horrifying. The Twilight Saga as written is a horror story, but it's very much like Bella's whole arc really is about Edward and like proving that he is good and he's above the danger and he's not a monster, right? And that's the whole reason that Edward really pursues Bella and forces proximity with her in the first place. So I really do feel like if we got this disturbed plot line, it would be something about like Edward knowing, oh, I do have a soul, I do have a spirit, now I can colonize Jacob's body to be human with Bella. Just beyond nasty. And then the other thing about it is, a few people mentioned this in the comments, like, when Jacob turns into a wolf, his spirit doesn't leave his body, it just shifts into a werewolf. But I think where this was coming from was like Taha Aki and how his spirit left his body and went into the wolf, right? I think that it was supposed to be something like that would happen. And then you just think about it and it's like, so where does Jacob's soul go? Into a wolf? I'm assuming, so he lives as an animal for the rest of his life. Great. Like, you thought, like, him being a happy slave to Bella and Edward's weird little demon kid was, like, bad enough, and it certainly was. But then you hear what could have happened, and it's like, I just